Boiler Upload podcasts are brought to you by Reindeer Shuttle. We know driving to the airport sucks. Let Reindeer Shuttle do it for you. With 5 daily trips to Indianapolis International Airport and 3 to Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, they can do the driving for you from Purdue. With multiple pickup points on campus, they'll take you where you need to go. That's reindeershuttle.com for booking information. The Boiler Upload podcasts are brought to you by Martin Vintage. See the threads of history today with Martin Vintage in their classic style of football and basketball Purdue apparel. They also offer vintage logos such as the 1924 seal. Get your design in a crew sweatshirt, a hoodie, a regular t-shirt, or a long sleeve shirt. That's martinvintage.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a very special episode of the Boiler Track Show, a show by Boiler Upload of the Rivals Network. And today, joining me for the first time is Boiler Upload's own Casey Bartley. Casey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Casey's making his debut on the Boiler Track Show.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you guys can see, if you're watching this on YouTube or if you read the title on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we're being joined by the new leader of Purdue football, Ryan Walters. Ryan, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you coming on, taking the time to do this. I know we talked a little bit before we hopped on here, but 2 months into your tenure here at Purdue, obviously we're still months away from the season starting, but just how has this transition been for you, and how excited are you to finally be in the head chair of a Power 5 football program?
Yeah, the transition's been awesome. The administration here is phenomenal. Obviously the university is a first-class institution, being in the Big Ten, specifically on this side of it, with some familiarity there. I was joking the other day, I was able to together with the staff at Illinois, was able to stop almost every offense we played in the West except for Purdue. So now that I'm here, Coach Kane's going to have his work cut out for him, just upholding the standard of what we're doing defensively. But the support in the administration, the university, the buy-in from the locker room has been phenomenal. We got 2 more weeks of workouts, hit spring break, and then on to spring ball.
Is it still a little surreal to you, obviously taking over a program, or what was the moment where it kind of hit that, oh yeah, this is my program now? I mean, obviously you're very young for reaching this pinnacle already.
It hit the minute I stepped foot on campus. I remember walking into the stadium, the night that it was announced that I was going to be the head coach here, and seeing my picture on the Jumbotron and looking around at the stands, that's when it hit me. And it's not really surreal anymore because there's just so much work to do. You don't really have time to sit and think about or take it all in. And there are tasks to be had, and obviously putting together a staff was priority number one, and hitting the ground running recruiting wise, and getting to know the locker room, and trying to find out all the things off the field that are taking place, and trying to enhance our locker room's experience here at Purdue University is those all been things that we are in the process of doing and have done, and like I said, just 2 more weeks of workouts and then spring break, and then the fun starts.
You got any fun plans for spring break?
No, it's crazy. I haven't. I want to. Obviously, we want to go somewhere. Go see the sunshine a little bit, but I'm trying to plan this late in the game has been a daunting task. So I don't know what we're going to be doing yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't make a good head coach because every recruit I would go for would just be Florida and California.
I spent a lot of time getting guys in Florida, so we're on the same page there.
There you go.
Yeah, so I saw you all three, or few of you guys took a trip down to Miami for a recruit.
Yeah, it was well worth it too. Obviously, we got him committed and filled a definite need, for us offensively, and we'll continue to, obviously the priority remains in the state and the surrounding areas, but when we get outside our footprint, Florida and Texas will be 2 states that we hit pretty heavy.
You said in your initial press conference that what you're looking for in recruits is people that just love football. How receptive have the recruits you've talked to about just Purdue, the brand you're bringing, everything as you're having these conversations now for the first time?
Yeah, it's the challenge has been to change the perspective of what Purdue University is. If you're not from the surrounding areas, Purdue is seen as a high academic institution. And guys know that Drew Brees played here, you know what I mean? And so to get kids on campus and let them see the environment, let them see the facilities, you don't realize how close you are to some major markets. Here in West Lafayette, and just getting them around the community and seeing the support. It has changed the narrative, changed the perception of what Purdue is, when after kids leave here. So I think we've got a great staff that can relate to the high school kids and enjoy the recruiting process. So I'm looking forward to this 24 class. Not only is there a lot of high profile in-state talent in that 24 class, but we're on some guys that are out of state that are pretty special. And I think if we can do what I think we could do with this class, we'll be competing and chasing championships in no time.
Kind of going off Casey's question, culture is kind of a funny thing. You look at maybe what Purdue's historically been known for, and then obviously you bring in a different skill set, a different mindset. Is it difficult to try to find that happy medium of still embracing what Purdue's kind of been known for or their culture and implementing your own?
Yeah, obviously the two things that stick out are the quarterback play and the defensive end play. So that is not going to change. That is how my mindset is in this game. Anyways, I think the quarterback is the most important position in sports, period. So you got to have a good one. You got to do everything you can to protect them, and then defensively, you got to do everything you can to affect them. And so, those two aspects of what this university has been able to provide from a success standpoint, positionally, is something that will not change. And then after that, the culture is going to be different. The team is going to take on my personality and my points of emphasis, and the things that our staff will be preaching is probably different than what they're used to. But like I said, the buy-in and the embrace to the change has been surprising and something I'm not taking for granted. I appreciate that from the players. I also think that they see that we are doing everything we can to make their experience as good as it can be here, and take care of them, off the field as best as we can, and provide them the resources they need to have success on Saturdays and beyond. And so I think that give and take has been beneficial so far.
Speaking of quarterback play, obviously you say it's the most important position. So how do you envision the relationship between you and a quarterback? Obviously, Hudson Card's transferring from Texas, Brady Allen's returning. How do you envision, as head coach, what's your relationship with the quarterbacks?
Yeah, my relationship is going to be that. I'll be their head coach. I'm not trying to be, that's for everybody on the roster. I'm not trying to be dad. I'm not trying to be big brother. I'm not trying to be best friend. I'm going to be their head coach. And so however I need to show up in that capacity, I will. And obviously everything that we do in our program is going to be to try to benefit our quarterback play. That is the extension of the coach on the field. He is touching the ball every snap, and every time he touches it, he's got the whole university's football life in their hands. So we will continue to develop quarterbacks. I think Graham is one of the best in the country at doing so, and his offense enhances and features the quarterback. And so I'm excited to see what that looks like, through spring ball and coming into the fall.
What was that process like of bringing in Graham, and then I don't know how hands-on you were with him bringing some of his guys in, like Coach Daggy and the rest of the offensive staff, but what did that process look like for you?
Yeah, it was a very interesting one in terms of, I think a lot of times head coaches rely on agents and hearsay to sort of handpick the staff. And, from a defensive standpoint, obviously everybody we've hired defensively I've known or worked with in some capacity, and they know the scheme. And I think that was important for me, and in terms of being comfortable with what is happening defensively. And then offensively, I've got friends in this profession that I highly regard, that play styles of offense that I want to see. The things that I hate seeing on Saturdays are the things that I want to do offensively here at Purdue. And so, Graham was somebody that we targeted early. Had a couple of good conversations with him, and was able to attract him to come to Purdue. And it's funny because we got on a plane to Dallas. He was recruiting in Dallas for West Virginia at the time. He signed the papers, landed in Dallas, picked him up, gave him a Purdue polo, and we got back on the plane, flew to Austin, and went to go see Hudson Card. So it happened pretty fast, and that process was fun, and we still laugh about it today.
How much does momentum play in building a program? Obviously, it starts getting coaches, getting players. How do you build on that starting this early in the spring?
Yeah, I don't know momentum. I mean, we haven't played a game, so
Right.
I don't know what kind of momentum we really have right now. And so it's just every day you got different tasks, and you got different periods and things in the calendar year according to recruiting calendars and spring ball, spring recruiting, summer workouts, summer camps, fall camps. So you just take it one day at a time, and obviously are from a planning standpoint, look ahead in the calendar, but you got to focus on the process and the here and now in order to continue to consistently get better every day.
Kind of going off that, obviously the here and now is some of the guys that you already have on the roster that are carryovers from the prior regime. What were your conversations like with them, and just telling them your vision and what you hope to accomplish for not only them, help them accomplish, but also for Purdue?
Yeah, my initial conversations were just that I wanted everybody to stay. Obviously with this the transfer world as it is in college football, they have the ability and the opportunity to look for greener pastures, so to speak. And some of like the 6-year seniors chose to do so, and that's their prerogative. And they were chasing NIL money, and that is like I said, that is their prerogative and their right with the rules where they are today. But the majority of them decided to stay, and I think that they're happy that they did, to leave their legacy and be a part of a new era in Purdue football. And I'm excited for what that looks like and what that means for the future.
How receptive have the players been? Younger coaching staff, kind of a new change, new energy, I'm sure, in the building.
Yeah, like I said earlier, they've embraced it and they bought in, and there hasn't been anybody looking crazy at any of the coaches. Or we are pushing them, we are challenging them, trying to obviously raise and elevate the standard, and pushing the envelope from that standpoint. But like I said, we have done a lot of things off the field that is to the betterment of their experience, and so I think they appreciate sort of that give and take, and they've embraced it so far.
Who are some of those maybe seniors, 5th year, 6th year guys that have stepped up in leadership roles that you've been able to see? Obviously, we know you haven't been here too long, but just some of the guys that you've observed really take a leadership role, and that you think will be a key piece in this transition period for Purdue football.
Yeah, I don't know if I can pinpoint any one guy yet. We haven't put on pads yet, so I don't. Everybody can look good in shorts and a t-shirt and run around cones. You know what I mean? So that is a better question for the end of spring when things really get tough and pads start popping and snot and blood start coming out of people's nose. We'll find out who the tough guys are and who the leaders are on the team.
Just go back timeline wise a little bit. How weird was it to be in charge of a program during the bowl game and not being able to have your hands on them? That's got to be weird for a coach.
Yeah, it was awkward. Usually when there is change at a place like Purdue, it's because of failure, right? Like things didn't work out. Head coach is removed of duties. New coach comes in. There's no bowl game. You just hit the ground running, recruiting, and start planning for the winter semester, spring semester. But in this case, not only was there success, there was a championship game, and and a bowl game that was in, January 2nd. So to be here like by myself for a while, with the old staff, finishing out their season, and to be at practice but not really a part of practice, to just be an observer, was awkward at times, was challenging at times, right? Like you're out practice and you see things that that you don't like, but you don't want to interject yet,
Mhm.
I was just glad I wasn't responsible for the in game score of the bowl games. Being a defensive guy, that was tough to swallow, and I still rib some of the players about it. So, hopefully that we won't be a part of that lopsided a game, in the future.
How hard was it for you not to say anything to the guys maybe in practice? Like you kind of mentioned, if you saw something that you didn't particularly like.
Yeah, well, I try to just focus on, being on the periphery and organically sort of getting people to know my personality and not look too much into technique or X's and O's or practice habits. If I would have done that, it would have been very, very difficult. But like I said, I'm glad that I was able to be there for the bowl game, just to get a jump start on getting to know some of the guys in the locker room, and them getting to know me and getting to know my family, and also getting to know donors and administrators, and being around the program. That was fun to do, especially in a place like Orlando.
This will be my last question. How do you personally define success this coming up season?
Just improvement, what that looks like from a wins-loss column. Obviously we're competitive and we do everything we can to go win games. This is a results-driven business, and I'm not getting paid what I'm getting paid to go out there and just put forth our best effort. We got to be competitive and try to go chase and win championships. But at the same time, I will mark success just by steady improvement, week in and week out, day in and day out for our program.
Now, looking a little bit long term, just what do you hope to accomplish at Purdue? What do you want Purdue to turn into by the time your career is said and done here?
Yeah, well, hopefully this is my last stop. I want my kids that are 9 and 7 right now. I hope when they grow up and people ask them where they're from, they say West Lafayette. I want to be able to retire here. This is a place in a conference where you don't need to go searching for anything else. There aren't, and just in my personality and what I want to do from a legacy standpoint, like there aren't logos that I'm chasing. People have already won at places like that at a high level, and for me, I just want Purdue during my tenure here to be sustained and consistent success and going to chase and win championships. I think you can do that here. You got the facilities, you got the support, you got the community, you got the conference, you got the academics, and then, like I said, being centrally located to Indianapolis, to Chicago, to St. Louis, you got major markets there to get and attract high profile kids on campus. So it's just our job to get them here, to give them a product that they can be proud of and want to be a part of. And then for us to give our locker room the best resources and the best plans to go have success on Saturday.
Now, we know you're a busy man, so we're gonna wrap this thing up for you. But on behalf of Casey, I'm sure we can't thank you enough for taking the time to do this and talking to us a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right, nice to meet you guys.
Good to meet you.
Boiler Upload podcasts are brought to you by Reindeer Shuttle. We know driving to the airport sucks. Let Reindeer Shuttle do it for you. With 5 daily trips to Indianapolis International Airport and 3 to Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, they can do the driving for you from Purdue. With multiple pickup points on campus, they'll take you where you need to go. That's reindeershuttle.com for booking information. Boiler Upload podcasts are brought to you by Martin Vintage. See the threads of history today with Martin Vintage in our classic style of football and basketball Purdue apparel. They also offer vintage logos such as the 1924 seal. Get your design in a crew sweatshirt, a hoodie, a regular t-shirt, or a long sleeve shirt. That's martinvintage.com.